Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the ThePCelitist. My name is Woodsy.
My name is Shepard, and this is a topic that I was really excited about and totally forgot about. And I brought up to you just about 45 seconds ago and said, let's make a video. LA Business Weekly Journal, what have you. So, shocker, we live in
Old People magazine.
Yeah, we live in Los Angeles. I'll put it out there. I just gave us away. Anyway, they had an article, and as you may not know, if you're not from around here, it's not really at all the place you turn to for video game news.
Right.
But it was in my office, saw the mail, and said, I see video game something or other there on the front, talking about Activision Blizzard. Might as well read it, keep abreast of the industry. Particularly because they're in Irvine, so
right,
not too far south of us.
Right.
So anyway, this article was basically talking about and this was a few months ago, the rise of Modern Warfare 3, while at the same time, the Activision side, and on the Blizzard side of the company, the decline in WoW subscribers. So it was talking about how here's a huge company, overwhelmingly successful, that makes a lot of games. I mean, they have Diablo, they have StarCraft, but in terms of their heavy hitters, it was WoW and it was Modern Warfare. And the crux of the article, and I don't have it in front of me because it was so long ago, but it gave some numbers. But really the point of the article was, is it a risky business model to be this huge company and to put all your eggs into essentially these two baskets? You don't make a very diverse array of games, and certainly not a diverse genre of games. For example, you have an FPS, you have an RPG, you satisfy two large audiences that tend to not overlap. I mean,
right.
You and I are two guys who like both of those immensely. But is it risky for a company to not really diversify their product portfolio and to just focus on one or two formulaic business models? Yes, very successful, road tested, battle tested. But is it risky? Or is it just a matter of, much like Will Ferrell, much like Christopher Walken, much like Vince Vaughn, you find what you do well and you just keep doing that, and don't try and be something you're not?
I think there's two problems with that model, and I think you're going to
Which model?
We just have our two big blockbuster games, or three, and we just keep that train moving as long as we can. Is that, like, my favorite thing in the world, which is a theme you've probably noticed, anyone listening, is that I want developers to make games that they want to play. And if you have guys just keep pushing the Call of Duty train, like, make another one, either the old guys who were working on it before have left because they're no longer interested in making another sequel of that same
They were the
thing.
idea men who came up with the idea that they're not the ones who are...
Right, and then these guys are it's just their job, which I think is what happened to WoW, too. I think the guys who did WoW first, they're kind of like, well, I want to work on StarCraft and other things, and they created this whole other team to kind of just keep WoW going. And it gets stale. The second issue I see is that I don't think that developers or publishers like EA, Activision, are going to be very important in the way of, like, choosing titles in the future. That's why we have Steam and Origin, to keep themselves, especially Origin. Origin is EA saying, we need to stay relevant because Steam
is kicking our ass.
Yes, exactly. And everything's going to be on download.
As a distributor. Yeah.
As a distributor, everything's going download. The next console systems, whenever they come out, everything will be downloaded, probably, most likely. So, like, we have to stay in the game. We have to get a cut still. Origin is the way we're going to do it. Steam is the way we're going to do it. Activision's Battle.net is the way we're going to do it. So I think that whole model of those big blockbuster games are going to go by the wayside because, like what you had said, they're going to be like adventure capitalists. Just see what's popular. Hey, you guys made this mod that was really popular. You guys want to make a game? We'll just invest money.
Here's $10 million. What can you do with it? Go to the guys who made Magicka and, hey, you did amazing work with a limited budget.
Right.
And again, still, if you haven't played Magicka, pause. Go start the download, then come back to us.
Right. I mean, you could even see it in the communities themselves. Now you have, oh God, Tim Schafer's company. I can't. It's not hitting me right now. who funded a game.
Throttle?
Yeah, Full Throttle. His company, his production company right now. I can't believe I can't remember the name. But anyway, he funded a game completely on Kickstarters.com, which I'm sure most people know how that's going down, because him and Ron Gilbert got together and raised $1 million, maybe $2 million by now.
Double Fine?
Double Fine, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Double Fine. They don't even deal with a publisher. We're going to raise the money ourselves. Mm-hmm. You got games like betas, like Natural Selection 2, who are funding the entire thing through pre-purchase. You have people like Notch, who did everything through pre-purchase on Minecraft. So, publishers are becoming less important. Mm-hmm. In their, like, who they cherry pick to be, like, big games. Mm-hmm. They're just going to be more, well, that's popular, so we're going to fund that.
Well, I certainly think with regards to the business models, an example that came to me recently is you have in a room in a company of 60 developers, and these are the extreme examples. But you say, okay, 30 of you will get our FBA out. Do you draft? Basically, think of it like a professional sports team. You know you're going to make 2 different types of games, so you only try and hire developers who are good at that.
Right.
So you say 30 of you go to the left side of the room. You're working on our shooter. The other 30 you go on the right side. You're working on our RPG.
Right.
Or do you get those 60 developers and you say split up into 10, 15 different teams? And do you basically have those developers sign up for what they want to do? Or do you say, you 3 guys, you're creative.
Right.
Make an MMORPG. Kick us some ideas. That could be interesting. You might crowdsource some really interesting ideas, especially if there's some rotation among the creative process. But I think you also run the risk of having like a quota system where you say, okay, we want to make 10 games. And here are the genres. We're going to make stealth action. We're going to make mystery. We're going to make adventure game. So you have this quota system where you have companies, and I don't think of an example of companies that have done this. I don't even think it's a good business model. So I don't imagine there are any around that do this. But if you try to fulfill that quota system, if we got to have our foot in each of these consumer demographics,
right,
that's almost a sure way to fail. I feel like you have to create a company where creative and brilliant minds want to come because it's a environment that fosters developer empowerment, where we give you the tools to make the game you want to make, and make a game, as you've said, that you want to play.
Right.
And I think that what happens when you have all your eggs in 1 or 2 baskets is you force yourself to make a game that above all is going to make money. And I think that what has happened a lot of times is, do we want to make a good game, or do we want to make a profitable game? And I don't think that those two necessarily go hand in hand, particularly in the last 2 years, and I think a lot of you would agree. I know you would agree for sure. Magica probably didn't make all that much money in a absolute sense. In a relative sense, it probably made more than they thought it would. It's an amazing game that wasn't nearly as profitable. I'll skip aside, pass right over Call of Duty. I didn't think Deus Ex Human Revolution was a very good game. Made quite a bit of money, though.
Right.
Crysis 2 was not a very fun game. Made a lot of money. I feel like there's this divergence that's happening, and we've talked about it in previous videos, but I don't think developers are enjoying making games anymore. I think they are enjoying making money, because if you want to make money, one of the fields that is growing is a high-end game developer.
Right.
And I see schools advertising for it all the time now. So there's money to be made, but I feel like it's not money to be made in the sense of this. It's a growing industry that's high demand. We're looking for really creative people. We're looking for people who know how to do this formula well.
Right.
And this formula is big cinematic single player and crazy, hectic, stupid, mindless multiplayer.
Right.
For example, of a first-person shooter.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I think we're at the peak of that, though. I think it's going to go away. I think it's going to diminish over time, because I don't think publishers are as important as they used to be. I really think they're going downhill as of what they choose is going to be. It's going to be more consumer choice. It's like, what do they want to do? Sit back and let people come to them. Hey, we want to put our thing on Origin, and we'll just go like, okay, give us 3%, 5%, whatever the hell it is, and just be this sponge that soaks up residuals all over the place. Or do they want to try to cherry pick what consumers want? Because if I were running the show, I'd say I'd rather just be this force that people have to go through and pay you money, and I don't have to choose anything.
Because chances are you'll make money no matter what. You'll operate like a hedge fund, really.
Right.
We'll fail in some adventures, and we'll succeed in the others. And if we come out 50% plus one...
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like the thing with Notch. Like, yeah, you see something on the rise, you're controlling everything. You're controlling who's downloading what. You know, you see it all. You're just sitting there, and you go, hey, that looks like it's getting a lot of interest. And then you contact them and say, hey, you love making this game. How about we give you some money and you can make it better? Like, that just seems to be how it's going.
Yeah, it could be like, whereas Minecraft was just one guy,
right,
who had this vision. It could be where you make a game that's not necessarily open source, but you make a game that's just, it's simple, it's out there, and it's word of mouth. It could even be freeware, could even be free to play, and people are clamoring for more. And kind of like what you've been saying, there's some potential for money to be made there, even if it's charged $3, $5 for the game.
Right,
we'll give you the capital to make it happen. I think we're headed in that direction. I agree. I think that's a good thing. I think it's capitalism working its way. It's choices. And not choices, diversity for the sake of it, because that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people making games that we all want to play. Happening less and less.
Right. It's good.
Yeah.
We're moving in a good direction. My name is Woodsy.
My name is Shepard, and this is the PC Elitist signing out.